Alright guys, welcome back to what? Well, you know what it is! Another ALEKS video. You can go ahead and turn the volume back up. Sorry, I won't be yelling anymore. The first thing I need to do is apologize. I have some background noise I'm not able to fix. I'm also using my DSLR as a webcam to do this homework, so I apologize. It's definitely a little on the jank side. It'll work. Anyways, here is our ALEKS for the week. Surface area of prisms and cylinders due 4/13. That's Monday at 10 a.m. So here we go. I'm currently in office hours right now too, so if y'all want to stop by, say hi, catch me, you can say hi to YouTube. Anyways, a right triangular prism and its net are shown below. All lengths are in millimeters. That's nice to know. I don't think we're going to have to label it. No, it labels it for us. And then find the following lengths for the net, A, B, C, and D. Looking at the net, we have A, B, and C, D. The hard part's going to be figuring out which one goes which. So let's go ahead and start by looking. The obvious ones are the right triangles. Those are both the same. Those are on the front and back, if you think about this being three-dimensional. So the front and back triangles here, the bottom, or the shortest side of this triangle is 5. Which means this is going to be 5 right here if you're looking at the cursor. And if you were to fold this rectangle as we saw last week, this folds up towards you, out of the screen towards you. So this B length is going to be the same length as this side of the right triangle. So this 5 on the right triangle is going to be the same as this B length. Go ahead and put that in. A, notice this is the short, weird, squatty rectangle. That is the only rectangle of the 3 that is short and squatty. So the short squatty rectangle right here is going to be too wide. So this one's going to be too wide. That's going to be our A value. Now I am also going to be doing this on my paper. So notice I got my 3 rectangles and the 2 triangles here. The bottom rectangle is our A and our B. So we know it's skinny 2 and 5. For our purposes, I'm just drawing these separate, so it doesn't matter which way you label it. If you want to be more picky, you're more than welcome to. I think the easiest thing to do next, looking at the right triangle, we know we need C and D. This upper rectangle, it does matter, so we do have to worry about it, but for this first part, A, B, C, and D isn't applied to this. So we're looking right triangles now. We know the bottom one of this is 5. We can see that from this picture here. Then we're looking for the height. So the height, that's going to be C. That's going to be the one that goes straight up and down. That's also the one that's connected to the bottom with a right angle. So you see this right angle here. That's the same right angle here. So the 5 and the one that's connected to it with the right angle is 12. So the one down here is 5. Connected to it with the right angle is 12. So our C value is going to be 12. D is the hypotenuse of this triangle, so that's the one that goes along the long side. So we're looking here, this is the long side, this is the hypotenuse of the triangle, that has to be 13. You can see that directly from the diagram. If you're looking at the triangle, we already know 5 and 12, so the only one that's left has to be 13. And look, we're quote-unquote halfway done with this. Use the net to find the surface area of the prism. So this is where we're going to go back to what I have drawn. This should be on the right-hand side of your screen. We're going to figure out surface areas, all the areas of these shapes added together. And since none of them overlap or do anything crazy, we don't have to do any subtraction. We can just find the area of this rectangle, this one, and this triangle, and add them together. The triangles are the same length, so if you're advanced, you can find the area of one of these triangles and just double it, or you can do them separately. So looking at our picture, we already got the little rectangle on the bottom labeled 2 and 5. We're looking for this rectangle with C. Well, we know C already, and we can figure out how wide this rectangle is because these rectangles all share the length of A, the width of A. So if A is 2, that means all these rectangles are the same width. So we can go ahead and put 2 on all of these rectangles. Then we just have to figure out the height of these. We already know the height of one of them is C, which, as I was saying a second ago, is 12. So we'll call it this one because it looks shorter on my diagram. I split this up. Sorry, this is a side note. I split this up If you want to draw it and label it just like it is on the screen here where my cursor is, that's fine. I split it up so I can add them all up at the end. Last, we have to figure out this rectangle. We know how wide it is. We just have to figure out how tall it is. That height, if you were to fold this again, this rectangle is going to come out of the screen towards you. So when we do that, it's going to lay along D. You can also see in the picture here, here's the exact rectangle we're talking about. If you look at the cursor, this 13 is going to be the length of this one up here. So that last rectangle there is going to get a 13. And then we have the two triangles along the sides. So we have, how long is this bottom part? That's the short part of the triangle, which is going to be this 5. So both of these triangles, again, they're the same. So if you want to do one of them and double it, that's fine. I'm probably going to end up doing that. And then the height, as we saw already, is 12. So to do area of a rectangle and area of a, we need to know the formulas. So the formulas here, area equals 1/2 base times height. That's for a triangle. Let me just double check that y'all can see that. Look at that, I'm using OBS. Oh cool, it's working out pretty well here. Okay, and then the area of a rectangle is going to be base times height. So we're going to have to do this for all of these. So starting with this one, base times height is just 2 times 5. That's going to be 10. I apologize, the screen, you're going to see a bunch of stuff because I just want to make sure y'all can see what I'm doing here. Okay, sorry, there's the formulas are getting a little lost. There they are. So you should know these anyway, they're old news. So we got 2 times 5 is 10, that's the area of this small rectangle on bottom. And then the area of this triangle is going to be 2 times 13, which is 26. And the area of this one is going to be 2 times 12, or 24. And then we have to figure out the area of the triangles. Again, if you figure out one, you then just double it. But area of a triangle, as we saw, is 1/2 base times height. So we have 12 times 5. And divide that by 2. 12 times 5 is 60. Divided by 2 is 30. The area of this triangle is 30. We already know they're both 30. So I'm just going to automatically put that one in there. So now we just have to add them all together. So we have the 30, 26, 24, and 10. If you can't do that in your head, that's fine. 30 plus 26 plus 24 plus 10. 30 and 30 is 60. 26 and 24 is 50. And 10. So 60 and 60 is 120. 120. So let's type that in. The units are already there. Boom. Check. Show me that green check mark. We're good to go. Next. Find the surface area of this rectangular prism. Be sure to include the correct unit in our answer. So now we do have to mention the units are going to be area squared. Area is always squared. Surface area is also always squared. The hard part here that I'm afraid is going to happen with this is people are going to go straight into length, width, height. That is volume. This is asking us for surface area. So as we know, it's not a cube. I misspoke. A rectangular prism like this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. It's like a die. In this case, it's not a die. It's not a perfect cube. So we just have to find the area of the 6 boxes. So for me, I'm going to split this up. I have 6 boxes. I believe you'll be able to see those. Yep. Okay, so there's my 6 boxes. I have 7, 7, and 4. So now I just have to figure out how many of these there are. So my first one is going to be 7 by 7. This is going to be the square on the front, looking at the cursor, and then the square on the back. So I'm going to have 2 of those that are 7 by 7. So I put both of those there. And then we have to figure out we have a 4x7. That's this right-hand side of the box. The other one that's 4x7 is going to be the back side. It's also 4 on the bottom and 7 tall. So that is going to be my other set. So we have 4 and 7, 4 and 7. And then we have the last cube. So we did the front and back, we did the right and left. Now we have to do top and bottom. So the bottom is 7x4 and the top is also 7x4. So we have the 7x4 and the 7x4. Brutal honesty time. I had not watched who did the video this week, Miss Latham, I believe. I did not watch how she's presented this. So this is just what I'm doing. If it's different, I'm sorry. It is, you know, yeah. So finding the area of these boxes, the area of a rectangle is just length times width. So 7 times 7, 7 times 7, 7 times 4, 7 times 4, 7 times 4, 7 times 4. So we got two 49s. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 28s. Some quick maths here. Let me break out my handy dandy calculator when I double check that y'all can still see this. So, sorry, it's jank. So we got 2 times 49. That's going to be what? 100 minus 2 is 98. And then 4 times 28. 112. Add those together. 210. That's a nice round number. So go ahead and type that in. Not like that. 210. Smash that check button. Show me that green check mark. Next. Next meter. I don't know if you guys get the reference. A company makes a storage containers with sheet walls. Rectangular prism. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Oops. Yeah, maybe not. If the company has a total of 944 square meters of steel available, how many can they make? So first, find the surface area, and then you're going to divide it underneath the 944 because you want to know how many will go into that 944. So first, as I get my new sheet of paper here, we have it's a rectangular prism. So as we saw, there's still going to be 5 boxes. So we can label these top, bottom, right, left, and front, back. Again, jank, double check. Okay, so the top and the bottom, for me, looking at the cursor, the bottom is 5x2, and the top is also going to be 5x2. Sorry, I misspoke. I did bottom first, but notice top and bottom here are the same. I then have right and left. The right side is 2x7, which means the left side is also going to be 2x7. I'll leave that 7 there to denote that it goes to both. And then we have front and back. The front is going to be 5x7, right? 5 here, 7 tall, so 5x7. And then the back is also 5x7 because they're always the same. Double check my office hours. Nobody's here yet. Rips in the chat. Okay, so again, find the area of all of these things and add them together. That's the first step. Area of a rectangle is length times width. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7. 2 times 7. 5 times 7. 5 times 7. So just like last time, we have 2 sets that are 35. We have 2 sets that are 10. And we have 2 sets that are 14. So then 2 times 35 is 70, 2 times 10 is 20, 2 times 14 is 28. Adding those things together, 9 and 2 is 11, 118. Again, this is not our final answer. This is how much it takes for one box. So we also know that if that's how much it takes for one box, then we have to figure out how many can we make with 944 square meters. So if we have 944, we're asking ourselves how many 118s can we fit into that. So do the division. 944 divided by 118, it works out perfectly. And you get 8. Keep in mind you might have a hard version of this problem where it'll be like 8.3. Understand that even like 8.7, that is still going to be 8. You can't round up material. If you don't have it, you can't do it. Find the surface area of the triangular prism. Be sure to include the correct unit. I'm trying to speak too fast. So again, the units here are squared, so let's just pop those in right away. So this is going to be the same thing. I'm just going to break it up, find the area of each, and add it all together. I think that's easier. That's how I like to do it. I'm not trying to use any big old fancy formulae. Ravioli, give me the formulae. I see that I have a right triangle in the back. I have the rectangle that connects them. And then I have the rectangles that go along the other two sides. So I'm going to call this the two triangles are the same. Then we have the bottom. This is going to be the one where the triangle is sitting on top of, right? So the triangle here, this one, if you look at the cursor, is the bottom. And then we have the rectangle. I'm going to call this one in the back, because I'm the back. Right? We can keep them separate. And then the one that goes along the hypotenuse, you could also call that the front. However you want to label these is fine. You just have to keep them separate. This is nice. No real hard work here. They give us all the lengths. If it was me, I would make you do Pythagorean theorem to figure out this hypotenuse, but they don't do that. So the bottom of the triangle is 10. The height of the triangle is 24. And you can see that just reading the diagram here. Both triangles are the same. Then we have to figure out, let's start with the bottom, because that's the leftmost. That's going to be 10 by 16. You don't have to read that either. Or excuse me, you don't have to do math for that. They tell you it's 10 by 16. My picture isn't drawn to scale. That's okay. The back is this big wide box back here. So you can look at the diagram. This one's even labeled nicely with the 24. And you just have to figure out how wide it is. And you'll see that this width here and the dotted line is going to be the same as this width here, the 16. Then the hypotenuse side, or the front side, which runs along the whole thing on the front, this is going to be 16 wide again and 26 long. So again, you're just finding the area of all these things and adding it together. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So you got 24 times 10 divided by 2. This is 120. Both triangles are the same. You can do the math again if you really want to. It's getting a little on the tiny side. 16 times 10, this is length times width for all the rectangles, so 16 times 10 is 160. 24 times 16, 384. And then 16 times 26. I'm not going to write it to save a little bit of time for this video. You just add all of these together, all the areas of those things. So you got 240, excuse me, you have 120 plus 120 plus 160 plus 384 plus 416, 1200 even. If any of you are going through this and you have the exact questions that I do, your life's getting pretty dang easy at this point. There's a handful of you that might have the same numbers. Correct. Boom, shackle, wackle. Next. Ooh, we got our first cylinder, boys and girls. Here we go. Turn down for Wizet. Find the surface area of the cylinder with the base diameter of 10 and a height of 8. That's already on the picture for us. Use the value 3.14 for pi, and don't do any rounding. So this is, you can't use the Google calculator, some of you mean. So here we go. Surface area of the cylinder, it's going to be the same thing, except a little bit different. So first, let's click this. Now, what I'm going to do... Man, that's really annoying. Sorry, there's somebody doing yard work out there or something. It is what it is, right? Okay, so circle, right? How many of those do we have? 2. We have a circle on the top and a circle on the bottom. They tell us that the diameter is 10 for both of these. And then we have... It's a cylinder, so you all saw from the nets that a cylinder... That looks like a face. A cylinder is a rectangle wrapped around the circle. So we have to figure out the height, which they tell us is 8, and we have to figure out the length of this rectangle, and we'll be in business. finding out the length of this rectangle is a little bit tough, but this rectangle, as you saw, will roll. It'll roll around. It'll roll around the circle. So this length is going to be the same as the circumference of the circle. If you all don't remember circumference, circumference is 2 times pi times r. Or the easier one for us here will be pi times d. So do pi times d, which in this case d is 10. So 10 times pi, they told us to use 3.14 for pi. So 10 times 3.14 is 31.4. So the length is 31.4. We now have all the information that we need to go ahead and get through this. First, find the area of the rectangle. Length times width, 8 times 31.4. 8 times 31.4, 251.2. It's only one rectangle. Please don't double that or do anything crazy. It is one rectangle wrapped around it with a circle on top and a circle on bottom. You can see that from the diagram. So to find the area of a circle, the area of a circle is what? Does anybody remember? Give you a chance to do it. Area of a circle is pi r squared. So radius is 5, so 5 times 5 is 25. And then you want to do 25 times 3.14. Once you do that, you get 78.5. And how many circles do you have? 2 of them. So you double that, 157. So you have 157 plus 251.2. The 157 comes from the circles added together. So 157 plus 251.2 from the rectangle, and you get 408.2. So let's go ahead and type that in and see if that's right. 408.2. We already put units in, but just a reminder, it is squared because it is area. I don't know how Miss Latham approached this. So again, if you watch that video and this is different, this is just another way to do it. I'm probably, Miss Gregg is going to be making a video as well. I haven't seen it uploaded, so I'm making my own, so that way I can just get you guys one, just in case. So find the surface area of the cylinder with base radius of 4 and a height of 5, and that's already labeled for us. So as we saw, a cylinder is 2 circles and a big long rectangle that wraps around them and connects them. Double check y'all can see that. Again, it's the face. It's a little crazy. So the radius on these is 4. Notice they give us the radius this time. That's important. So remember the diameter then is going to be 8. We'll use that. And then the height of this rectangle is 5. It's also the height of the cylinder. So we need to figure out this length along the bottom. In order to do so, you need to do what? Again, the circumference of the circle. In this case, 2 pi r will behoove us better. And in order to do 2 pi r, you need to know 2. And it tells us, see? This is what I get for not reading. Let's be careful. Write your answer in terms of pi. Crap. My webcam just shut off. I believe I'm still recording. So let's see if we can get this going again. Is it back? Oh, not like this. Let's see if we can get it back real quick. It's not back, is it? Did it die again? Oh, my battery's dead. Okay, well, we saw the last one, so I'm just going to try and talk you all through this. It's still going to be inches squared, right? It's still going to be squared at surface area. So to find the volume of the... What are we doing here? Find the volume... Sorry, I got flustered. My camera turned off. I'm pretty angry. Find the surface area. So we have to find the length of that rectangle that you all saw me draw. The visuals are the same. So again, it's going to be c times 2 times pi times radius. In this case, we know the radius is 4. So 2 times pi times 4, that's going to be 8 pi. So this is where it's tough, and I wish I was able to show you this. 8 pi, just leave it as 8 pi. That's going to be the length of that rectangle. So on your rectangle for that long side, 8 pi is the length. Okay? So now to find the area of the rectangle, it's still length times width, but now you're doing 5 times 8 pi. Pi, just leave it, think of it as an x, sort of. I know it's not. If anybody really high-end is watching this video, you know what I'm saying, right? So pi, we're not going to change it, we just want to leave it as pi. So 5 times 8 is 40. That means the area of your rectangle is 40 pi. Now we have to find the area of both of the circles. You remember the eyes of the face, if you will. The area is still going to be pi r squared. In this case, the radius is 4, so we plug in 4 for r. You have pi times 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16, so you have 16 pi. And we're just going to leave it that way. And now you notice both circles are going to have an area of 16 pi and 16 pi. And then the area of the square is 40 pi. Let me see if my OBS jacked now. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and remove that. And then make the screen bigger. There we go. Alright. So we have 16 pi for one circle, 16 pi. So the area of this top circle is 16 pi, the area of the bottom circle is 16 pi, and the area of the rectangle that goes all the way around it is 40 pi. So you want to do 16 pi plus 16 pi plus 40 pi. We're ignoring pi. When you're adding, it's just sort of like saying 2x plus x is 3x. So therefore 16 pi plus 16 pi is going to be 32 pi. And you want to add to that 40 pi, so you're going to get 72 pi. And that should be our final answer. And it does want it in terms of pi. Please be careful. This is the stuff that gets us the most messed up. Boom! 6 for 6. Fire the submit button. Good job, guys. You did it. 100%. If you have questions, I do have office hours. As we see in this video, I have no one. Yeah. Anyways, come on by. Say hi. Get some help. Ask questions. Whatever you need to do. Thank you for watching. See you next time.